boys last state tournament. Tonight's second game features the Smet Bulldogs and let's meet the teams. First, DeSmet. Cheerleaders are Kathy Reeder, Alicia Silver, Randy Lemmy, Shannon Smith, Jenny Peckinpah, and Erica Halverson. Advisor is Shelley Ostis.
Starting for DeSmet at 1 forward, number 31, 6'4" senior Casey Schultz. At the other forward, number 33, 6'5" senior Jared Gass. Starting in the middle for the Bulldogs, number 51, 6'5" senior Corey Roth. At one guard, he's 5'7", he's a senior, number 23, George Molnar. And at the other guard, number 25, 6'4" senior Todd Skyberg. Assistant coaches are Jim Altenberg, Dave Carmen, and Troy Sturgeon. Head coach of the DeSmet Bulldogs is Marv McCune. And now a little wound. Cheerleaders are Nikki Little Whiteman, Emily Weasel, Tasha Standing Soldier, Tiffany Phelps, Krista White, and Jennifer Stover. Advisor is Bonnie Standing Soldier. Starting for Little Wound at 1 forward, number 5, 6' senior Jay Jacobs. At the other forward, number 44, 6'3" junior Corey Provost. Starting in the middle for the Mustangs, number 20, 6'4" and a senior Jeff Hart. At one guard, number 14, he's 5'10" and a sophomore, Lyle LeBeau. And at the other guard, number 12, 5'10" junior Drew LeBeau. Assistants are Paul John Ironcloud and Robert Stoner. Head coach of the Little Wound Mustangs is Lyle Dusty LeBeau. Your officials for this ball game are Jewel Burnett and Mick Weisup.
All right, Little Wound at 20-3, and they will come out and shoot the threes. They made 26 total three-pointers in their 2 games in the playoffs coming into the state tournament here. Little Wound beat Cheyenne Eagle Butte 55-50 last night in the first round, and DeSmet took care of Millbank 74-39 to get here to the state semifinals. DeSmet 21-1, Castlewood the only team to beat them this year. And it'll be the Bulldogs of DeSmet in the maroon uniforms. Corey Roth, number 51, will jump it up against Jess Hart. Little Wound in the white. Hart averages 27 points a game, and you get a feeling that he's going to have to get a bunch tonight.
He will have to get a bunch tonight because DeSmet, we've already talked about their starting 5 loaded with their senior lineup, but not a man under 6'4", with the exception of their point guard, George Molnar, and they just come at you in waves. These guys can all handle the ball, and they can run the floor, and that's why they're the #1 team in the state.
Corey Roth off the feed from Jared Gass.
You saw Corey Roth get a quick start last night in their first round win. And it's just difficult. You confront him, but you also have to have a lot of help from the backside to take away that lob.
They just took care of business against Millbank. Nobody was super outstanding as Jacobs can't get it to go. Provost with a rebound, though, for Little Wound, and he'll get a shot for the three-point play. Corey Provost, 6'3" junior. Listed at 6'3". Not a whole lot of difference in height between him and Schultz and the rest of those big men for DeSmet inside.
Corey Provost getting kind of lucky. The rebound came out a little farther. 3 DeSmet Bulldogs were sitting underneath the basket waiting for it, but Provost pulls it down and connects with the three-point play.
So Little Wound will bring the pressure. Little Wound will play 10 players in the game here. DeSmet will probably go 7, but there's Corey Roth. The big fellow running the floor. He had a big dunk last night, and that's a pretty good way to get your team going.
And that's a good way to get the fans into this, too. Huge crowd on hand for Little Wound. We saw them last night, and boom, that's the way to quiet down the DeSmet crowd. We got a foul.
Hart with the answer on the three. The foul comes after the shot, I believe. Going to go on Roth. Count the three-pointer. It is after the shot. Corey Roth picks up the foul. So Little Wound will get the ball right back. That was a big answer by Jess Hart.
That was huge. So instead of a possible 4-point play, we could have a possible 6-point swing here with that call.
Hart averages 27 a game. He was in the tournament for Pine Ridge last year. 3 on the way again. Ooh, just a little off. Provost and Jacob battle for the board, and LeBeau saves it off his shoulder.
Good job by Drew LeBeau. Check that, Lyle LeBeau coming up. Of course, Lyle LeBeau's Dusty's son. Drew is Dusty's nephew. And both of them a couple little quick spark plugs. Bad inbound pass, and we're going to have a foul, I believe, on Lyle LeBeau.
Yep. Picked off by Skyberg. There's Todd Skyberg, one of those, the big four really for DeSmet. You look at Skyberg and Schultz and Gass and Roth, all about 6'4", 6'5". All seniors along with Molnar here, the point guard. Left-hander. Great cross-country runner. Gass had it stripped away, and that's going to be 2 quick fouls on Lyle LeBeau.
And another thing about these DeSmet Bulldogs, they can outrun you, they outsize you, and everybody on their lineup last night scored with the exception of Jake Anderson. And they can spread out the scoring. 3 of their 5 starters average double figures. George Molnar, the point guard, he only averages 8 points a game, but does a great job at handling the ball and making things happen down underneath.
Skyberg, NBA 3 wouldn't go. Good job by Provost to get rid of it before he traveled. Here comes Jacobs. Jay Jacobs, nice move. Provost again on the glass. Corey Provost has 5 already. He averages 7 points a game.
Mark McCune on the DeSmet bench screaming for a foul over the back on Provost, but he's not going to get it. We're going to have a blocking foul on Jake Jacobs.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of banging going down low, so good to see at least that they're going to let him play underneath.
Yeah, you're right. First couple of minutes here in the opening quarters, any indication. A lot of big bodies moving around down in the paint.
Here's Drew LeBeau the other way for Little Wound. Little Wound's located in the town of Kyle, which is down in the south central part of the state. Provost is looking for Jacobs out of bounds off of Skyberg, who said, I didn't touch it. But
the Mustangs avoided a huge turnover there. They turned it over, got it back, turned it over again, and they'll keep it. Smet taps it out of bounds. See Jess Hart throwing it in underneath their own bucket, wide open. Lyle LeBeau.
He is Mr. Sparkplug, always going 100 miles an hour out there. Nice, lean, and got it to go. Another chance for another 3-point play.
Seems like Little Wound coming out with a little more intensity than DeSmet. DeSmet kind of back on their heels a little bit in these opening moments of the first quarter.
You know Dusty LeBeau told him we got to have a better start than we did last night. Cheyenne Eagle Butte had him down by double digits in the first quarter, and Little Wound had to fight all the way back. Finally won the game, but much better start for the Mustangs tonight. Here's Molnar, goes reverse. Roth on the tip. And a foul on Little Wound. And Lyle LeBeau is down on the floor right now.
I think Lyle LeBeau caught a foot right in the stomach. After Roth went down on his back, I think he came down and take him out and look at him on the bench.
Corey, you got 25.
Keep an eye on Lyle.
Corey Shangru checks in for the Mustangs.
2 shots for Roth, who has all 4 DeSmet points so far. Averages 15. He had 17 against Millbank last night.
Motion.
Jess Hart goes high to rip it down, and Dusty says, let's go, push it. Man-to-man, and Schultz on the Smet. Jacobs. I don't know if he slipped or not, or if he just kind of was trying to make a jump stop there.
Cleaning up some moisture on the floor right now. Looked like his foot kind of blew a tire and slid through the paint. They cleaned it up and ready to go.
So 11-5, Little Wound. And already a surprise, I think. I think a lot of people, everybody in this building expects DeSmet to win this game tonight.
And you mentioned Jess Hart in the face.
The denial on Skyberg, and that's going to be out of bounds off a Little Wound.
But you mentioned Little Wound's start last night against Cheyenne Eagle Butte. Came out a little flat, and all of a sudden they're down by double digits. And if DeSmet doesn't watch out, same exact thing's going to happen to them tonight here in the semis.
But DeSmet, well coached. They're seniors, as we said, not going to get rattled right away. Hart trying to be a defensive presence inside and getting the job done. Here's Ross, draws a crowd.
Mental mistake. Another mental mistake by DeSmet as they turn it over again.
Possession arrow to Little Wound. Full complement of timeouts each way as we're midway through quarter number one. Little Wound with an 11-5 lead on the number one seed in the tournament. And Lyle LeBeau still on the bench for Little Wound. Here's Hart for three. Short and Schultz boards. Lyle LeBeau looks like he's going to be okay over there on the Little Wound bench. Really aggressive defense by the guys in white.
I think that's what you have to do against a team like DeSmet. They're so big and they're so quick, you almost have to be a little more intense on defense to get them to make mistakes. So what you've seen here early on in the first quarter, nice move down the line, but you almost have to dictate the game when playing a team like DeSmet. Get them out of their game a little bit.
Ross has all 5 DeSmet points so far. See if the Bulldogs throw a little pressure on off the made free throw. Don't get the opportunity, but Gass, nice job on the tip. Here's Schultz. The Gass. Jared Gass with his first hoop.
Jared Gass doing a good job of shooting over the defender. Got a lot of arch underneath that and got it to go. 3-point ball game.
A bump foul on Schultz. But Hart really on the push. Every time he gets an offense or a rebound at the defensive end, pushing it the other way. 4 new players come on for Little Wound. Hart stays in the game. But Cash Poyer, Tom White.
And that could be Dusty LeBeau's.
Tim Lone Elk with the ball right now. Here's Hart. Molnar boards. He's got a couple runners ahead of him. Good pull up by Molnar. Would have counted had it gone, but 2 shots coming up for Molnar. Foul goes on Tom White.
And when you see a new line coming in for Little Wound and Dusty LeBeau, didn't see him do that last night in their first round game, but maybe that's his philosophy tonight against DeSmet. Just trying to run him into the ground and keep some fresh legs on the court as long as you can.
Mark Burgers comes on as Schultz sits down. But DeSmet will like to go only about 7 players deep. Molnar got them both. So it was 11-4. Now a 6-0 run by DeSmet gets them right back in it. Lone Elk looking for Richard Gallego down low. Good spin. But the Mustangs have cooled off now a little bit. Held ball.
Back door now.
5 minutes down in quarter number 1. A little bump on the inbound play. Marv McCune heartily disagrees, but it's going to go on Roth. There's going to be 2 fouls on Corey Roth.
Marv McCune better watch out. He's going to get a technical. He's saying the guy tripped over his own feet, but official doesn't agree.
On the way by Tim Lone Elk. Berger's another one of those seniors for DeSmet. Gassed on the drive, and a foul is going to be on Gallego.
What do you got, 11? 11?
So Jared Gass will go to the line. DeSmet making a living right now, getting fouled on those shots.
Jared Gass doing a good job of doing some penetration on that Mustang man-to-man defense. Picked up the triple team, and it's kind of hard to avoid the foul when you're collapsing on a streaking player to the bucket like that. Gass will head to the line for a couple free throws.
I know Scott Nagy, the South Dakota State head coach, has been here at the tournament looking at some players. We're told this is one of the guys he's looking at. Haven't talked to Scott himself, but three-point lead for the Mustangs and the basketball. Jess Hart running the show. Lone Elk, can he go back-to-back? Just a little bit short. Rock high for the rebound.
Lone Elk doing a great job coming off some picks the last couple of times down the floor. He's been wide open, got a good look at the three, had a chance to square up his shoulders, knocked one of them down. He missed a little bit off of that one. We're going to have another foul here before the shot.
Molner's having some success getting inside there, and looking to finish it off, not looking to make the dish. And I thought, yeah, it was before the shot. So the starters come back on now for Little Wound. They leave Hart in the ball game all the time and run 4 new guys in. There's Dusty LeBeau, won a state championship at Red Cloud back in 1995. Took a year off from coaching and now is the head coach at Little Wound High School. George Molner, 3 out of 3 from the line. Gets them back within 2. Within 1, make it 14-13, and Little Wound the other way. To LeBeau, nice little up fake, got it to Provost. Good head fake to get himself in the lane, and then Provost finishes it off.
He just froze the defense when he gave that little pause in his dribble and opened it wide up for Corey Provost as DeSmet collapsed down on him when he dribbled into the paint, but great move.
Provost has 7 already in the first quarter, averages 7, and Jacobs picks up his second foul. Mustangs really trying to get up in everybody's face.
Derek Larson tried to take advantage of that. He saw how close Provost was, or Jay Jacobs was playing to him, tried to get around him, and finally did. Jacobs had to fall over and pick up his second foul. But you're right, it's high-pressure defense here early on by the Mustangs.
Larson gets them both. 9 team fouls already on Little Wound. So the next one will be 2 shots on any foul for DeSmet the rest of the half. A little force on Lyle LeBeau, but again, the shorter Mustangs inside making a lot of
And you saw Jared Gass there putting his arms up like, what can I do? He had position, he had the ball in his hand, but C.J. Jacobs came around. He avoided making contact with the body and got it tipped out as he... There he goes again. Jess Hart knocks down a long two.
And that's going to be 3 fouls on Lyle LeBeau.
And even though Little Wounds come out with this high-pressure defense, Dusty LeBeau better watch out or he's going to have a couple players here fouled out by halftime. Lyle LeBeau with 3, Jay Jacobs with a couple. 10 team fouls already, and we're not even through quarter number 1.
Skyberg to shoot 2. Lyle LeBeau will come out. Shangru back on. First 2 points of the game for Skyberg, and again a 1-point game. Little Wound with the lead. Shangru somehow got it to go. A little spin off glass. Corey Shangru's first hoop.
Shangru with the left-hander trying to make something happen, dribbling into the paint. DeSmet playing pretty good defense, but Little Wound making something happen on the offensive end. They're not content with running any time off the clock.
Travel on Molnar. And Little One was just scrambling defensively and did a nice job of getting back. I think everybody thought Gass was going to take that jump shot. So Molnar and Skyberg were kind of standing there. Under a minute now. There's the game clock. Shangru right back to him. Little Wound players do a lot of creating for themselves offensively.
Run and gun style type offense. It's worked for them thus far. And we're going to have a turnover. Quick travel by Drew LeBeau.
A lot of points up there right now. It's 20-17, but we've seen a lot of games in the last 2 weeks that have been that way. Either no scoring in the first quarter or lots of scoring in the first quarter, and then it tapers off.
Well, we'll see if Little One can keep it up. Looked impressive so far here in the opening quarter. Swarming defense.
Exactly. They had 3 players come over and take it away from Skyberg. Shangru's 3, strong again, and Gass boards.
And look at Little Wound attack it on the rebound. Skyberg came down at the rebound, and before he knew it, he had 2 defenders on him right away. And a nice tip right there by Jess Hart.
Jess Hart with 7 points in the first, and Little Wound with a 5-point lead. After 1 quarter, Little Wound taking it to the #1 team in the state a little bit, 22-17. The Bulldogs of DeSmet in that first quarter did it at the free throw line, 11 out of 14, but Little Wound gets 7 out of Jess Hart, 7 out of Corey Provost, and they've got a 5-point lead.
You don't see 14 free throws in the first quarter very often.
And they're going to get a bunch more here in the second quarter. Little Wound's already at 10 fouls for the game. Confusion on the possession arrow.
Marv McCune not satisfied.
He wants to talk to Mick Weiss up here. Talking to his
there was only 1 jump ball.
Book person now. The arrow's pointing toward Little Wound right now.
Okay, there was only 1 jump ball, and we got the tip. Right. We got the tip.
Listen now. The opening tap.
Right. That means that became Little Wound's ball, now it's our ball. We got the tip. Little Wound got the first jump, and we got the ball. There's only 1 jump ball after the tip. tip, right? We got the tip. You called a jump.
Was there one jump ball there?
Yes, there was a jump ball. And then it would be our ball. And it's, right, that's been the only jump ball. It's got to be our ball. No, that was a whole. Well, that's. Gotta be our ball. Gotta be our ball. Gotta be.
What happened? The only jump you called, okay, it was going to be Lulu's ball. You called the foul. We asked you if we could kick the arrow. You said no. We do not kick the arrow.
The jump ball took place. Their possession was the foul. Their possession was that foul. When you called the stack foul and I was complaining, the kid tripped over the feet. Right. You called a foul. That's their possession. They shot free throws. No. You can't change the jump ball.
And you can see Dusty Lowe just standing there saying, let's go. We got the momentum. Let's start this thing. And
I'm not sure if he's wondering about the possession error or whose ball it is here to start the second quarter. I think that's what Marv's question is whose ball it should be here to start the quarter.
I think Dusty's both saying, hey, you can have the ball. Let's just start the game.
DeSmet won the tip. There was one held ball. Little Wound got the ball. So Marv is trying to say that it should be DeSmet basketball here to start the second quarter.
That's right.
And I think he's convinced him that that's the case.
Just checking your Northwest stat board. We get a standing ovation. They finally figured it out. It will be DeSmet's ball. Your Northwest stat board there from the first quarter. 9 of 20 from the field. DeSmet 3 of 7. DeSmet hasn't shot a three-pointer yet. There's the free throws. 11 of 14 for the Bulldogs. Rebounds. Slight edge goes to Little Wound. A lot of those offensive rebounds. 8 of those offensive for Little Wound, and DeSmet with a couple of more turnovers. 22-17 as we kick off quarter number 2.
And it is really getting loud in here now. Every whistle brings a reaction from one side or the other. Foul was on Shangru. So Derek Larson's going to get 2 more free throws. It'll be 2 throws every foul on Little Wound for the rest of the half. So DeSmet was 11 out of 14 from the free throw line in that first quarter. And they're going to be getting plenty more opportunities from the stripe here in the second. 3 points for Larson. 4-point game. Hart with 3. Got himself in good rhythm that time. 10 for Jess Hart.
Jess Hart had his mind made up before he even saw that pick. He saw that pick develop, and boom, he just caught his guy right in the front side of the pick and let it fly.
A lot of grabbing, a lot of contact going on out there. And foul's going to be on Hart. His first.
First for Jess Hart.
Jess Hart getting a little too aggressive out there.
So back to the line for the Bulldogs. Gass is wondering what happened on that one. Would it have been an air ball had there not been a backboard there?
And maybe that's the way you beat DeSmet. You just use up your whole bench and foul them and keep them on the line all game long. And if they can't knock them down, advantage would go to Little Wound.
Provost fouled on the way up.
To tell you the truth, I don't think DeSmet has had a chance to get into their offense yet through that whole first quarter. They're so worried about that swarm in defense and trying not to turn the ball over, just hanging on to it's a chore. As we saw, only 18 points there in the opening quarter, 17.
Well, Provost has had a game's worth of offense already. Not even a minute into the second quarter here. He averages 7 points a game. He's got 8 right now. Hart with the rebound. High pick from Provost. Hart for 3. Bang! Another 4-point possession. 13 for Hart. And a timeout. DeSmet wants a 20-second timeout.
The Bulldogs have to find a way to fight through those picks at the top of the key. Jeff Hart will just burn them all night long. They can't get through it. The pick is leaving them wide open. You got to get a hand in his face, otherwise he will do this to you.
Yeah, that's pretty good offense. Just Provost right at the top of the key. Hart goes one way or the other, went the other way on the last three. Dusty can coach with the best of them. We know that for sure. He's got 10 guys, as you said, and just he'll use every one of them, do whatever he needs to do. And he knows he's got Hart. Hart transferred actually at semester time in January. And Dusty said the little one was really playing pretty good basketball even before Hart got there, but
Can't
he
pass
is a
it
good
up.
player. Yep.
And you don't really see Dusty LeBeau get too excited. We did see him get a little excited last night, that Cheyenne Eagle Butte game, especially after they got down by double digits early, came back to take the lead, and it was a battle all the way down to the wire. Dusty LeBeau and the Little Wound Mustangs came out on top, and they're leading right now by 9.
And that
Check
defense,
that 11.
that swarming defense, as you've been talking about, is just, I don't know if they're rattled, you want to say, but DeSmet having their troubles. Getting some shots anyway, but Little Wound willing to give up the foul.
Nice job getting him down on the block right there by Casey Schultz. But I think at this point of the game, if you're DeSmet, you don't want to pass up any open shots, especially if they're right around the 10, 15-foot range, instead of making that extra pass to get it down underneath. It's been hard to come by any kind of points here early on and here in the second quarter.
That was the third foul on Jacobs, so he'll come out. And Lono comes back on. Good tip by Roth to keep it alive. Gas for 3. There's some good ball movement. 6 points now for Gas.
And Jared Gass found himself wide open. He was squared up to the bucket and knocked down the 3. That's what DeSmet needs, some more of those.
Whoa! The answer by Drew LeBeau. He had 4 threes in the win last night. Well, that's just huge when you can answer a 3 with a 3.
And like we saw last night, he shoots from the shoulder. You never know if he's going to dish it or shoot. As George Molnar goes in and gets a couple back for the Bulldogs.
Things picking up a little bit. 8-point Little Wound lead. Hart with Provost, that high screen again. 3 on the way. Just in and out. Skyberg rebounds. Saw that little forearm by Molnar. Dusty LeBeau wants the refs to keep an eye on that. Skyberg. As DeSmet warming up a little bit now. A couple of threes in the quarter.
Both
back
teams
within 5.
doing a good job picking away from the ball. We're going to have a timeout. Dusty LeBeau wants to talk about it. He calls it 20. But both teams doing a good job of picking away from the ball and getting their guy open. You know, those threes are a lot easier to knock down when you're all by yourself instead of somebody hanging off you, especially Little Wound. They've been hanging all over everybody here in the opening moments of this game.
Skyberg, the sweet stroke on that one. Good timeout by Dusty. And a stem a little DeSmet run. It was an 11-point lead for Little Wound, down to a 5-point lead now with 5:23 to play before halftime.
DeSmet just too good of a team to stick back on your heels after you get a lead, especially this early in the matchup. As we saw last night, easily good teams will battle back.
And Little Wound's a team that you don't expect them to sit back. They've never met an open shot they don't want to take. Provost, charge this time on Provost. As Roth stood in there, that'll be 2 on Provost.
Good job by Roth. He saw that coming. Corey Provost got the ball, and Roth just stood his ground. Picked up the charge right there. 2 on Corey Provost.
Little Wound right back to the pressure. Drew LeBeau out on Molnar. Molnar with the good handle so far. went baseline. That's going to be 3 fouls on Provost. So 3 Little Wound starters now with 3 fouls.
Provost trying to hold his ground right there, but Corey Roth just too big. He backed him down into the block, and Provost got caught leaning in, picked up his 3rd foul, and he's going to come out of the game after this free throw.
It's 21 free throws already in the game for DeSmet. This will be the 22nd. Eight points for Roth. 4 of those at the free throw line, and DeSmet sneaking back in it. Plenty of timeouts left. The next foul on DeSmet will be the 1-on-1 for Little Wound. But the Mustangs with a 3-point lead. It was an 11-point lead about 2 minutes ago. A couple of threes have fallen for DeSmet, and the Dogs right back in it. Here's Jess Hart. White to Lone Elk. To Shengru. Hart open for 3. Plenty of time, good rhythm. That's 4 threes in the game, 16 points for Hart.
You just got to get out there. You got to fight your way through that pick, or Jess Hart could end up with about 50 points tonight.
Schultz turnaround. Tough shot off glass for Casey Schultz. And Gass with a steal at the other end.
Not a good pass for Little Wound. Really no reason to rush that. Oh, another turnover by DeSmet. You look at the Little Wound bench, everybody up. Everybody's screaming. The intensity's still there for the Mustangs as they hold on to this lead here in the second.
Burgers had come on for just a moment to give Molnar a rest. Molnar back in now. 3:40 to play, first half. Hart again. And a travel this time as Corey Roth just kind of made like a wall. Hart threw the ball off him, but it traveled on Jess Hart.
Little Wound fans thought the ball was tipped. Ball's tipped, you can come down with it, but the official thought otherwise. Turnover goes back to DeSmet.
Molnar didn't want to do that, but Skyberg bails him out. Good job by Skyberg to wait. Todd Skyberg gets it to go. That's 7 now for Skyberg.
Skyberg did do a good job, just corralled the ball, and he waited. He got the defender to get up in the air. Meanwhile, a couple other Little Wound defenders were swarming down on him, but he got the shot up and got the 2 to fall.
And the Smets chopped the deficit back down to 2 now. Every time Hart touches the ball, the crowd anticipating that 3. Lone Elk picks it up. It's saved by Molnar. So DeSmet can tie it with a 2 now. Roth, good pass to Schultz. Count it. Casey Schultz with the bucket and a chance to give DeSmet the lead.
Picture-perfect break for the DeSmet Bulldogs. 3 quick passes, and Casey Schultz all alone underneath. Good look from Roth right there. The defender came out to guard him, and Schultz is right there. And Jess Hart comes down. Check that. It's Corey Shangru who picks up his 2nd foul, but DeSmet stealing back some momentum here as the closing moments in the 2nd quarter.
That was pretty. Stays at a tie, though. Roth with another offensive rebound. Roth denied by Hart. Hart for a foul.
Jess Hart doing an outstanding job guarding the bigger Roth. He got a couple of blocks, and there's the foul right there as he clips Corey Roth's arms. Ball rolls out of bounds. Jess Hart will pick up his second foul as Roth steps to the line for 2.
So there's the first lead in a long time for the Bulldogs. A 36-35 comes at the 2:05 mark of the second quarter. Here's Gallego. Hart was working baseline, now back out to Cash Poyer. Just doesn't seem like momentum and those things affect Little Wound.
Not at all. We saw that yesterday when they went down, and Cheyenne Eagle Butte crowd was on their feet and had everything going their way, and the Mustangs didn't even shake them.
They just keep playing their game. White's three wouldn't go, and a rebound. And a pushing foul on the way out is going to go against DeSmet. And against Derek Larson. So a 1-on-1 coming up. Let's see where it was.
It's almost away from the ball. Derek Larson was fighting for the rebound, but Little Wound defender came flying into him, and I think he was kind of a victim of circumstance there and picked up his first foul. Little Wound keep the ball.
And it's going to be Richard Gallego at the free throw line. And he's coming off. I don't know if he's got some blood on his face, I think.
Looking at his wrist, I think
injured wrist, so
I think he landed on that wrist, and I believe that's a shooting range.
He's supposed to be the shooter, so in an injury situation, they'll take him out. Provost will come in to replace him, and Provost will shoot the free throw instead. Works out pretty good for Little Wound. 9 points for Provost. Checking out that left wrist of Richard Gallego on the bench. Meanwhile, Provost gives Little Wound back the lead. State Farm at the half. Coming up, we'll go to John Schrammick from South Dakota Public TV. And Festival 99 going on down in Vermilion. Skybird for 3. Short this time. Follows his own shot and makes the save. The most. And a foul is going to go on Drew LeBeau. So good hustle by Skybird to make the save. Went right between Jess Hart's legs, I think.
Kind of surprised Hart. I think Jess was thinking he was going to try and knock it off his leg back out of bounds. Went right through. George Molnar came up with it, picked up the foul, and steps to the line for 2.
1 minute, 2 seconds on the clock. And Molnar breaks his string of 4 free throws in a row. Seven now for Molnar. Ties it back up at 37 apiece as we hit the 1 minute mark. Hart, good up fake. It's a 2 on the way. 2 more for Hart. 18 in the ball game for Jess Hart, who averages 27.
Dead eye. That is almost automatic when he gets inside the 3-point mark,
Yeah,
especially the way he's shooting tonight.
And it's tough to burn time against this kind of defense. Smet trying to play for 1. Skyberg almost had it ripped away. And now DeSmet wants timeout to try and set it up. 19 seconds left. The Bulldogs down by 2. They've got the basketball. Dusty LeBeau, they don't want to foul. And there's Richard Gallego icing that left wrist. So their depth is a little in jeopardy at the moment with the injury there. They've got 3 starters with 3 fouls. But only 19 seconds left here in the half. And DeSmet can tie it with a 2. Skyberg will start it. 10 seconds. Man, the defense just took it away, and at the buzzer, Cash Boyer gets a 3/4 court shot off, but surprise, surprise, the #1 team in the state down at the half. Little Wound with a 39-37 lead on the DeSmet Bulldogs. Dusty LeBeau already headed to the locker room. So we will take a break. We'll be right back and send it down to Vermillion for Festival 99 on South Dakota Public TV. Stat board through the first half of play, and look down in their rebounding columns. 12 offensive rebounds for Little Wound. 12 of their 16 boards have been on the offensive variety. Corey Provost with a couple of those. Jess Hart with 4 offensive rebounds as part of his 6 boards. DeSmet only 15 field goals in the ball game. They've made more free throws than they've attempted field goals, and 27 free throws already for DeSmet in the ball game. Pertinent information provided by Mr. Jay Huizinga, our stat guru. But DeSmet down by 2 at the half, 39-37. Little Wound came out right from the get-go. Jess Hart has 18 points at the half, and DeSmet kind of spreading it around. Corey Roth with 9, George Molnar 7, Todd Skyberg 7, Casey Schultz has 5, and Jared Gass has 6.
We'll see if the Little Wound Mustangs can keep up that defense. Total of 18 fouls in the first half. And you look at foul trouble, Jay Jacobs, Lyle LeBeau, Corey Provost, all starters, all have 3 fouls. A couple of fouls from Shangru and a couple for Jess Hart. So a high-pressure defense worked good early on, and then DeSmet kind of started chopping back a little bit. They came back to take the lead and gave it up right before the half. But see if they can keep it up here in the second.
Little Wound coming into this game 20-3 on the season. Losses only to Douglas, Crow Creek, and Cheyenne Eagle Butte during the season. DeSmet comes in at 21-1, and that only lost to Castlewood. A 38-37 game during the season between DeSmet and Castlewood when they were both the #1 teams in the state. DeSmet in Class A, Castlewood in Class B. Other than that, 21 wins for the guys in maroon, and Little Wound gets the basketball as we start the second half. Hart inbounds to Lyle LeBeau. Drew LeBeau, Jay Jacobs, and Corey Provost in the starting lineup for Little Wound.
Update on Richard Gallego. We saw he hurt his wrist there before the halftime break. Little Wound bench said it's just a sprain, taped it up, and it is his non-shooting hand, so we'll see if he gets back in the game.
Drive by Jacobs. Jay Jacobs, first hoop of the game. Gives Little Wound a 4-point lead. And here comes that pressure again. Hasn't been so much pressure full court. It's just been that pressure in the half-court defense that's done it for Little Wound.
And you can hear Lyle LeBeau in the background saying no fouls, no fouls. So they want to keep up the pressure, but not too tight. See if DeSmet can take advantage of it.
Collapse on Jared Gass inside. They go with Molnar at the point. Gass, Roth, Schultz, and Skyberg in the starting lineup for DeSmet. Here's Skyberg. Lyle LeBeau to the floor, and LeBeau is going to pick up his 4th foul just a minute into the third quarter. Pretty good hustle, but he made a little tackle on Gass.
Hustling for the ball, but a little too much. He left his feet going for the ball, and Gass kind of held his ground as LeBeau checks out with his 4th foul.
Shane Grew comes back on for Little Wound. Winner of this one goes on to play West Central in the championship game. West Central beat Custer 71-61 earlier tonight. Josh Mueller, 35 points in that game for West Central. As the defending champs are knocked off in the semis this year. Schultz on the cut. Provost with the foul. And Littlewood not afraid to give up the foul, but they don't want to stack them up like they did in that first half right away.
They're going to be in trouble here late in the game as DeSmet doing a good job and working the ball down underneath. You saw Casey Schultz breaking toward the hoop, and that's 4 on Provost, 4 on Lyle LeBeau, two of their starters.
But again, DeSmet left some points out there in the first half. They were 17 out of 27 from the line. Schultz gets 1 out of 2. 6 for Casey Schultz. 3-point Littlewood lead. See if Hart gets untracked again. He had 18 in the first half. Skyberg with the steal. And Mr. Fundamental lays it in. 9 points for Todd Skyberg now.
Todd Skyberg with 3 or 4 of those steals in last night's win against Millbank as they just totally hammered the Millbank Bulldogs 74-39. But Skyberg with some quickness on defense.
Hart for 2. Rebound to Skyberg, and DeSmet now can take a lead.
And you kind of wonder if DeSmet's going to make a little run here.
Roth inside. Denied by Hart. Got it back. Schultz picks it up, and Hart with the rebound. Jess Hart with a smile on his face coming up the floor. Gets Schultz in the air and had it on line, but a little bit short. So Jess Hart gets 2 free throws.
Smet missing a couple golden opportunities down on the other side to kind of close the gap a little bit and take the lead. But Jess Hart, good job of getting the defender up in the air, and he'll step to the line for 2. As he looks to get in the scoring column for the first time here in the second half.
And averages 27. That ties him with Josh Mueller for the highest scoring average coming into the tournament. Chris Stabner averaging 26 coming in. Stabner's had a couple of good games. 19 and 23. That's 20 now for Hart. And a near steal by Hart, but numbers the other way now for DeSmet, but they'll pull it back out. Molnar on the drive. George Molnar, very good on that little pull-up. 9 points for Molnar. Another steal by Skyberg.
Littlewood trying to take a big bite out of that. Went for a little too much. Bad errant pass, and picked off, and DeSmet chance here to take the lead.
3 for Skyberg. Once again, runs down his own rebound. Shane Grew didn't put a block out on him.
Littlewood, little lax here in the third quarter. That intensity that they started with the game just isn't there. Saw on the rebound, a lot of flat-footed Littlewood Mustangs on the defensive boards. Smet fans looking for a foul underneath as Roth goes strong.
Rolls out in, but you're right. This intensity not quite there defensively for Littlewood. DeSmet missing some short shots.
Missing some easy ones. Good opportunity for DeSmet. Littlewood kind of getting lucky here. See if they can make something happen offensively. Lyle LeBeau calling for a timeout.
Dusty's going to take a 20. This event being conducted under the auspices of the South Dakota High School Activities Association. It's a 1-point Littlewood lead. 4:22 to play in the third. We'll keep it right here. Next week on South Dakota Public TV and Kello TV, the State AA tournament coming up from Sioux Falls. As we complete March Madness, South Dakota style. Castlewood won the State B tournament last week. West Central is already in the championship game here at the A. And will it be Little Wound or DeSmet? I think everybody expected it to be DeSmet.
Or Custer.
Custer knocked off by West Central in the semis tonight. Little Wound, the 5th seed in the tournament, hanging right with the #1 seed. They lead it by 1. Hart for 3. Bang. Comes off that pick. It's high above everybody else. That's 5 threes now. And 23 points for Jess Hart.
I think Lyle LeBeau had that design coming out of that break. But it's simple pick and roll, and there's no rolling involved.
Yeah.
Jess Hart looks for that pick, and he's shooting right when he comes off of it.
Roth cleaned up his own mess. 11 points for Corey Roth now. DeSmet just hanging around. They've taken a few leads in that second quarter. 1 point, 2 point leads. Hart again. Long this time. Roth was running, but Gass had trouble breaking the press. Gass isolated this time. Good drive by Gass, and Shangru came over with the blocking foul. That'll be 3 on Shangru.
Good idea of Shangru if he would have kept his ground. He just turned his shoulder there to avoid the contact. I think if he would have kept his shoulder square and took the legitimate charge, he may have picked up the charge on that, but instead, Gass will head to the line for a couple.
Marv McCune says all these kids have been playing together since they were in 4th grade. They've won all those little tournaments along the way, the Willie Mack things and those kind of tournaments. And they're trying to put together a state championship run here. Game tied at 46, 3:26 to play in the 3rd.
South Dakotans take pride in strong values. Here deals are still made and kept with a handshake, and disputes are settled with old-fashioned common sense. That's why few court cases in South Dakota ever go to trial. But when they do, our juries have the clear sight to make honest, fair decisions, keeping court costs low and standards high. Because of you, South Dakota has a justice system that works. And for that, we thank you.
There's a tradition in South Dakota. It says we can do anything we set our minds to do. So while the rest of America debates how to control the costs of health care, the physicians of South Dakota are quietly doing something about it. They're showing employers how to control their costs without reducing care. Some call it pride, others tradition. We call it Dakota Care. South Dakota's answer to America's most difficult question.
Both teams out of 20-second timeouts. Both teams with 3 fulls left, and the foul situation a little bit more in control for Little Wound this half. 3 of them right now. Here's Jess Hart. In that high pick. Provost is on the bench with 4 fouls, so Gallego comes in at the center position, really, for Little Wound.
And you see DeSmet doing a good job in switching out of that pick, but Jess Hart avoids it.
That time, instead of going all the way outside, he just made one little step inside after he got by the screen. Knocked down a 2 and a chance for a 3-point play.
Got by the screen. He recognized the DeSmet defenders were going to switch on him, so instead he just stopped right in his tracks and popped it and got the bucket and the foul.
"26 points for Jess Hart. He said he was going to have to get a bunch. He's getting a bunch. His team by 3.
Little Wound playing a little more under control defensively. Another block by Jess Hart.
Hart just kind of staying right there underneath the hoop. Roth is not bringing him out high. Kind of does a little bit now, but Hart's just been helping on every drive, every backside, every shot like that. Molnar, though, gets it this time. 11 points for Molnar.
George Molnar, just 5'7", but he can leap with the best of them. He goes into the paint, and that's the second high archer we've seen is Jess Hart.
And again, DeSmet had a runner ahead of the pack. This time they do get it to Roth, but Schultz over the back with the foul. A lot of times you see that you'll get burned when you come put on some pressure. When you miss a shot at your own end, the other team gets the defensive rebound. And whenever you try to come up and make a steal, they burn you at the other end, but hasn't been happening yet.
Little Wound doing a good job on pressuring that outlet. That's one good way to take away the fast break. You pressure that outlet pass and don't give them a chance to get it away. But like you said, Tommy, you got to get somebody back. Otherwise, sooner or later, you will get burned.
Fourth foul on Casey Schultz. Eric Larson is set to come in and replace him. Skyberg causes the steal. Gass comes away with it. Here's Roth. Oh, man. Jess Hart was going to challenge him. Roth was up to it. Watch this. That is power jam.
Power jam. More importantly, they call the foul on Jess Hart. Jess Hart should have just let him go instead. Thought he'd contest it, hit him with the hip, and picked up his third foul. Oh, my.
So the dunk gives DeSmet the lead at 50-49. And that's 14 points now for Roth, including two big two-hand gorilla jams. Can Hart answer? Yaha. Ties it back up at 51. 28 points for Hart. And I think that was... I think I agree with the crowd is what I was going to say.
The official says,
yeah,
the official says he did tip it, but
Hart got a finger on it.
Fingernail, maybe.
Well,
according to the Littlewood fans, I think Littlewood would have the advantage fan base here. But a lot of people from DeSmet. It's going to get loud here down the closing quarter. Just a minute left here in the third.
We were talking to one of the refs here before the first game tonight as Roth scores again. Corey Roth with 16 now, but it's talking about how difficult it is for two referees to cover so much ground. The Greater Dakota Conference will go to 3 referees next season. 3 on the way by Jess Hart. And he has been the answer every time down. Gives Littlewood back the lead. 31 points for Hart.
And Jess Hart all over defensively. He's just chasing the ball. He's not even guarding anybody.
And Molnar's going to go on a drive here. We'll see if Hart comes over to help. Skyberg for 3. Hart with the rebound. And after 3 quarters, Littlewood hanging on. The Mustangs lead it by 1. Well, Johnny, the question we heard all day was, can Littlewood keep up with DeSmet?
I think it's the other way around now. Can DeSmet keep up with Littlewood during the timeout? Dusty LeBeau says, let's make this fun. I don't know what game he's watching.
Yeah, that made it fun.
Another thing he said, it's time to let the abilities take over and play with Hart. I don't know if he meant play with Jess Hart or play with your own, but Littlewood doing a heck of a job keeping up with the top seeds from DeSmet.
Molnar's having a great game for DeSmet. 13 points now for the senior, chance to make it 14. And again, they're flip-flopping on that 1-point lead, going back and forth. DeSmet back up by 1 now. Molnar averages 7. He can double that with the free throw. And it's a 2-point DeSmet lead. Hart a little strong this time. Battle on the boards. between Jacobs and Gass. Possession arrow points to Little Wound.
An unusual miss by Jess Hart right there. Both players come down with possession.
Molnar gets a rest. Burgers comes back on for DeSmet. LeBeau makes the save. Lyle LeBeau back on with 4 fouls.
Here's a look at your Norwest stat board from last quarter. Pretty close throughout. You look at the three-pointers. Little Wound is 8 for 18. Jess Hart is 6 for 11 by himself, just on the three-point line. Free throws, look at DeSmet. Shot 32 free throws here through 3 quarters. Rebound, pretty even. Turnovers, even. Game, even. DeSmet hanging on to a 2-point lead.
But Hart ties it up. 33 points for Jess Hart. And now that Little Wound defense, the intensity picking up a little bit more.
And let it all hang out now, the final 7 minutes of this one.
Larson inside. Shangru with a rebound. Skyberg with a foul. Second on Todd Skyberg.
I don't think Marv McEwen's too happy with that shot selection. Smet has to work the ball a little bit. Really no need to get in a hurry now. Every shot's going to count from now on out. Tie ball game, and so good off the dribble.
Hart with 35. He's been good off the dribble, off the screen, off the set shot, off the layup.
And with him, he doesn't even need a screen. He's just losing his defender off the dribble and leaving himself wide open, and he's knocking him down.
Only thing he doesn't have is a dunk yet. Skyberg straight away, 3, bang. Todd Skyberg with the answer for the Bulldogs. Shangru the other way. Here's Little Wound, the lead right back. Hart with the steal. Burgers chasing. Smart move by Hart just to lay it in. That's 37 now for Hart. Momentarily 5-on-4, but Shangru gets back. Hart with another steal. Whoa! 39 for Jess Hart. Timeout DeSmet. 5-point Mustang lead.
Hart, the one-man wrecking crew, doing it on both ends. The quick slap. As I mentioned before, he's not even guarding a player. Wherever the ball is, you'll find Jess Hart as he rolls it in and lays in his 39th point. 39 points for Jess Hart.
The record for the State A tournament points in a semifinal game is 50 by Steve Brown of Hamlin back in 1974. And with 5.5 minutes left, that is in jeopardy. Hart with 39. Molnar back on to handle the point for DeSmet now. But a 6-0 run by the Mustangs give them a 5-point lead. Looking for Roth down low. Molnar for 3. George Molnar is having a great basketball game. 17 points for Molnar.
And the thing with DeSmet, they're moving the ball around and they're getting some guys wide open looks.
Shangru with the answer.
Everybody's knocking them down. Man. It's going to be tough picking a player of the game in this one. It's going to be tough picking a play of the game in this one. We may just have to have the whole game as the play of the game.
Skyberg thought about 3. Gass will take it. Larson rebounds, and he was fouled. Fouls on Jacobs right there. That's 4 on Jacobs now. And that kind of halts an exciting little run there by both teams. It's going to be the 6th team foul on Little Wound. So it should be out of bounds for DeSmet. .423 on the clock. Still a 5-point lead for Little Wound.
Mentioned the scoring record for Jess Hart. He's almost ready to break another record. The record for a state tournament game, 9 3-pointers. He's sitting at 6 right now.
Nice move on the backside by Gass. 10 points now for Gass. Cuts the lead to 3. High pick for Hart. They'll turn around and just go the other way. Could have had it right there if he wanted it.
I was going to say, you got to guard him. You let your guard down for 1 minute, he's going to knock another one down.
Lone Elk lost the handle. Tim Lone Elk got it back. Good feed by Jacobs. Back to a 5-point lead. Roth got some position, and that's going to be 5 fouls on Jacobs. Tough assignment for Jacobs, giving up 5 inches of height down there to Roth. Roth just backed him down. So Jacobs is out at the 3:14 mark. Just 2 points for Jacobs. There'll be 2 shots coming up for Corey Roth. Dusty LeBeau having a little conversation with Corey Provost, who's coming into the ball game. And Jacobs is just upset because he wants to stay in to have a little more fun. 2 for Roth. He and Molnar have been doing the scoring, 17 points apiece now. Stays at a 4-point Little Wound lead, approaching 3 minutes to go in regulation. I think we've only been tied twice in the game. It's been back and forth between 1-point, 2-point lead.
DeSmet finally came back and took the lead there in the 3rd. We want a timeout over here as Dusty LeBeau calls a timeout. And then we'll take 1, 2. 4-point ball game. Back to Rapid City after this.
Left as we hit the 2:56 mark. And a 4-point lead for the guys in white. Little Wound, the 5th seed in the tournament. DeSmet, the #1 team this year, the #1 seed in the tournament. Shangru for 3. Roth with a big rebound and a foul on Provost, and that's going to be 5 on Provost.
And you kind of wonder when that was going to happen. Both 3 players came into the 4th quarter with 4 fouls. 2 of them have now gone. Lyle LeBeau also with 4 fouls. Not a good time for Provost to foul out. There's still a lot of time left in this one, 2:44. And Dusty LeBeau's got a big decision to make now.
Provost will sit down with 10 points. He had a big first half. He had all 10 points in the first half. Sat quite a bit of the second half here. And Richard Gallego will come in for Little Wound. Roth at the free throw line, 1-1 coming up. 18 now for Roth. And DeSmet had, what, 32 free throws through 3 quarters?
And it could come down to free throws here to determine this one.
2-point game. Hart has been relatively quiet for the last couple minutes. Draws the double team. Shangru, 3, that's off. Schultz for the rebound, and DeSmet can tie with a 2.
I think DeSmet doing a pretty good job every time Jess Hart grabbing the ball. They're putting the double team on him. Jess Hart, instead of looking to shoot, he's looking to pass off, and I think that's what DeSmet has to do here for the next 2 minutes.
Hart for 3. Just didn't get his feet under that one. Air ball. Out of bounds off a Little Wound. Hart really didn't.
Little Wound bench thought Shangru got shoved out of bounds right there. No foul called. Out of bounds. DeSmet basketball.
Hart, the last couple times down, didn't really look like he wanted to take a shot for whatever reason, but
it's like he's been dishing it off. He's the one that's been keeping him alive here in the second half all game long, but cooled down here considerably here in the 4th quarter.
Roth backing in. Hart got a piece of it. Good tip by Casey Schultz. 8 points for Schultz. That one ties it back up at 69. Hart make it 41 points for Jess Hart.
Just too easy. DeSmet can't allow him to take that shot. They have to contest it, especially. Oh, there's over and back, it looked like.
I think he totally got all the way over. You got to bring it all the way over and then something back. Nick Weissef was right on it. Roth again inside. Hart coming over the back. They get in for a reaching foul. And I think he had, watch his left hand here. If he wouldn't have had the left hand on Roth's back, he might have got away with it.
Kind of like a defensive back in football, going for the pass. You strap that left arm around his back. That's number 4 on Jess Hart. 4 on Hart, 4 on Lyle LeBeau. And Roth is back in the line again. Roth could win this thing. 5th free throw of the night in the 4th quarter here. He's hit 4 or 5. Normally 62% free throw shooter. So Corey Roth knocking him down.
21 points for Roth. Ties it back up at 71. 1 minute to go in regulation. You know, I would think Hart would probably take the shot here.
I would think so, too. That's why DeSmet should almost try and deny Jess Hart the ball, but they're letting him take it. See what they do, Jess Hart.
Go back to that high post, and they get timeout. It's got to be a full timeout for Little Wound. We'll be back right after this. There you go, 2 timeouts left for each team. The possession arrow, if there's a jump ball, DeSmet will get it. Jess Hart has 41 points in the ball game. There's 42 seconds left. Now, do they play for one? Is the question.
It's hard to say. No shot clock in high school ball. You can play your 4 quarters, but both teams had a problem taking time off the clock here in the second half. Both teams playing some pretty good defense, so we'll see what Dusty LeBeau has in mind.
It's so dangerous when you got to run off more than about 15 seconds.
But I think if you're DeSmet, you want to deny Jess Hart the ball. You don't want the ball in his hands when it gets down to the end.
DeSmet's got a couple fouls to give here if they want. Skyberg trying to reach in there. And there's one by Roth. That's just the 15th foul on DeSmet, though. So they've got to commit 2 more to put Little Wound at the line. So they've got 1 more to give. Timeout DeSmet with 17.5 seconds left. All right, thanks, guys. I think the graphic we had before this was incorrect. This is correct. Little Wound has 1 timeout left, a full timeout. DeSmet has 1 20-second timeout left. And the possession arrow does favor DeSmet. There you go, tied at 71. Little Wound will play for the final shot. I'm not sure what. I guess Hart knew what he was doing there. Now he draws the double team. There's the 16th foul on DeSmet. Stops the clock with 11 seconds, so they'll make him inbound it again at least. But you know, and I know, and everybody in here knows that number 20 in white, the design is to get him 1 shot here to win the game.
And even though you'd want to put all 5 of your defenders on him, you can't forget about the other 4 guys on the floor for Little Wound. Gonna have to take care of the ball. Play some good defense. You can deny the shot, you can go into overtime, but here's the ball game right here.
Hart looking at that clock on the bench to win it. Hart for 3, had it right on line. Shangru with a rebound, but we're going to overtime. That thing was dead center, just a touch long, and we'll go to overtime, tied at 71. Four minutes on the clock in overtime. Jess Hart has 41 points heading into the overtime. Corey Roth leads DeSmet with 21. George Molnar 17. Hart playing with 4 fouls. We got to keep that in mind. And you would think offensively DeSmet will go right at him, try to get him out of the ball game.
And Jess Hart has been trying to guard Corey Roth, but as we mentioned, he's been all over the floor. He hasn't really been guarding one man. He's been guarding the ball. Wherever the ball goes, you've been finding Jess Hart both on offense and defense. So, but he is playing with those 4 fouls, as you mentioned, Tom. That could loom big for the Mustangs.
Pulls up 43 now for Jess Hart. Here's Molnar, 2-point lead for Little Wound. The winner of this one goes to the state championship game to take on West Central tomorrow night. Gass on the turnaround. Jared Gass ties it up.
Jared Gass, good job playing give and go. He just kept playing catch until he found an opening, the turnaround, and he had the height differential and got the easy bucket. LeBeau
for 3. Hart with the rebound, the putback, and a free throw coming up for Hart.
George Molnar just kind of came in and swatted it out, but Jess Hart had the ball on the way before Molnar even got there, and Molnar picked up the foul. Jess Hart shot to make his 46th point of the night.
He has been incredible. Watching one of the most incredible performances in State A history tonight. 76-73. Skyberg. No, it won't stay. Shangru and Gallego had a rebound. Won't go for Larson. Lone Elk with the rebound, and Hart back the other way.
A couple of bad shots for DeSmet. They should have maybe pulled that out. Jess Hart looking to dish it off. The Bulldogs kind of playing out of control here in overtime.
Todd Skyberg injured down at the other end of the court. That's the timeout. Looks like he might have a cramp or something in that calf.
And you can see that cramp right in his calf muscle, but Marv McCune is going to have to put a sub in. He had 30 seconds to sub, and that's kind of what the referees are looking at.
Man, Little Wound got a good break, though, there when the ball was going out of bounds. Larson made the save for DeSmet, but right to Hart. So Burgers will come back on for DeSmet as they try to work out that cramp on Skyberg. 3-point Little Wound lead. Hart with Larson on him. Hart counted 48 points for Jess Hart.
Jess Hart in the zone. Just can't miss a shot.
Roth got fouled. It was not Hart, so he'll stay in the ball game at least. The foul goes on. Richard Gallego.
Richard Gallego doing what he can, basically in there to rebound and try and play defense on Corey Roth. I don't think Dusty LeBeau wants Jess Hart trying to guard Corey Roth down to the bottom. That's what DeSmet's going to do here down the stretch, just try and dump it into their big man.
It's 22 now for Roth.
And Corey Roth has yet to score a field goal here in the fourth quarter. It's been all free throws here in overtime.
Back to a 3-point lead for Littlewood. 2 minutes, 5 seconds to go in the overtime. And Derek Larson with the task of trying to stop Hart. Short this time, but a rebound to Drew LeBeau. Timeout, Littlewood. Full timeout. We'll keep it right here. Timeout situation. DeSmet does have one of each, one full and 1:20 left. Littlewood has one full timeout left.
And you talk about that scoring record. Even though you hate to say it, you'd have to put an asterisk next to it since we are in overtime, but still, you're right, Tommy. This is an incredible performance by Jess Hart. Just single-handedly took the game over.
Court Provost, go ahead.
I was just going to say 18 points at the half, 31 after 3, and 41 after regulation. Incredible.
Six threes in the ball game. And Hart with all 7 points for Littlewood here in the overtime. We went to overtime tied at 71.
Mentioned earlier the state record for threes. Travis Traphagen from Groton nailed 9 of them back in 1995. The record for the tournament is 16. So if Littlewood comes out on top of here, we'll have to watch out for that. Jess Hart may give that a run.
50 is the scoring record. Hart needs 2 more to tie that. Steve Brown had 50 in a game back in 1974 for Hamlin. White and Drew LeBeau now doing a little ball handling as Larson trying to deny the ball to Hart.
Wide open underneath, and they passed it up.
Good decision underneath by Lone Elk. 3-point lead. They don't need the hoop necessarily if they can run it out. Dangerous passes. LeBeau comes out of there, and they didn't get a timeout in. It's a jump ball, and they're discussing it now. Did they get the timeout or not?
It's a jump ball.
So the possession arrow to DeSmet.
So we see Dusty LeBeau's philosophy, wanting to run some time off the clock and possibly hang on to the ball till the end, and that's it.
Just fouled out of the game.
And that brings the DeSmet fans to their feet. Standing ovation from the Rushmore Plaza Civic Center. And what a performance by Jess Hart.
48 points, the second most all-time in State A tournament history.
And we'll see if it'd be enough.
And as an unbiased broadcaster, I still got to say I'm sorry to see that. I'd just love to see him be able to finish the game there. Marv McCune is thinking, thank you.
But Marv McCune and the Smet Bulldogs still have some work to do, trailing by 3. But Littlewood, now they're going to have to look for a go-to guy.
And it's going to be 2 shots coming up for Corey Roth on the foul.
Both teams hit the bench. Nobody called a timeout.
They bring Cash Poyer off the bench to replace Jess Hart. It's Roth at the line, shooting 2. His team down by 3 with 1:21 left. Roth gets them back within 1 with 1:20. Now, what's the offensive option for Little Wound? Drew LeBeau in trouble, needs some help. He does get timeout this time with 1:12 left. Full timeout for the Mustangs. We'll take a break. Little Wound out of timeouts now. They lead the ball game by 1. 1:12 to go in the overtime. Jess Hart is fouled out with 48 points. And now the Mustangs will wait for DeSmet to come foul them. Here's Tom White, a junior, off the Lone Elk, a senior, along with Drew LeBeau, another junior, running the 3-man weave here for Little Wound. 45 seconds. LeBeau fouled on the reach in. So a 1-on-1 coming up for Drew LeBeau. Foul was on Larson. Drew LeBeau just a 50% free throw shooter coming in, and this will just be a 1-on-1.
Matter of fact, the last quarter or so offensively, haven't heard much from anybody except for Jess Hart. So we'll see if Drew LeBeau can step up here, knock down a couple of huge free throws for the Mustangs.
Roth with the rebound. 40 seconds to go in overtime. Any foul on Little Wound, it would be 2 shots for DeSmet.
Oh, and Dusty LeBeau just can't believe it. He's screaming up here. It's the last thing he wanted to do.
Thing is, though, when it got down to it, they might have wanted to foul. Maybe not this early, but I don't think he wanted DeSmet to get a last-second shot to win it.
George Molnar can knock down a couple of free throws here and give DeSmet the lead.
2 shots for Molnar. That one ties it up at 78. 18 points for Molnar, 11 better than his average.
Just 1 field goal here in the overtime period for DeSmet. The rest has been free throws, 4 by Corey Roth. And if Molnar makes that one, it'll be 2. But more importantly, the Bulldogs now have the lead, 32 seconds left.
8 out of 9 at the line for Molnar. Little Wound down by 1. There's the game clock. Do they have anybody other than Hart that will take the big shot? Here's Lone Elk. To Poyer. White. And stripped away by Larson. Derek Larson with the steal. Wouldn't go, but Roth there for the follow. That would tie it up if it goes in, but that is the ball game. Wow. The steal by Larson, the follow by Roth, makes the final margin 3 points. And in overtime, DeSmet survives 81-78. 48 points for Jess Hart. DeSmet coach Marv McCune is standing by with John Wilson.
Marv, you look a little older.
I'm getting old. Got to get after. I only had this after this year or something.
Talk about this game. It's just the best game of the tournament, best game we've seen in a long time.
It really was. Little Wound got off to the quick start. That's something we couldn't afford. And the reason they did is we didn't box out 3 or 4 times early in the first. And Hart got on that roll. He just played a phenomenal game. You know, you're so afraid of gambling because the other kids could hit the 3 also, and they proved it when we went and double-teamed them. But it was just a matter of we had to hang around until we hoped they made a mistake, and they made a couple.
And when you saw Jess Hart foul out, was that the break you guys needed down the end?
That's exactly what we were trying to do, but we were trying to go to gas inside. We did early, and he made a shot. Then he came out and just made not a very smart play, and it was the difference of the game.
All right, Marv, congratulations. We'll see you tomorrow night. Marv McCune and his top-rated Bulldogs in the championship, Tom.
Man, that was fun. DeSmet wins it 81-78 in overtime. Our Dakota Care play of the game comes courtesy of Corey Roth of DeSmet. In the third quarter, on the breakaway with Jess Hart trailing him. Hart with the foul, Roth with the throwdown anyway. And that is our Dakota Care play of the game. Corey Roth of DeSmet, who ends up with 27 points in the ball game to lead the Tigers, who win it 81-78 in overtime. We're just collecting our thoughts here. We're going to come back. We'll head down to Vermillion in a couple of minutes. We'll be back with our American Dairy Association player of the game, and you've got a pretty good idea. And DeSmet in the State A championship game coming up a little later on this evening from the Civic Center in Rapid City. Let's take a look